Well, hello there and welcome back to my family room. Hi, it's Kristen Anker, your parent and teacher mentor. I empower parents and teachers with effective discipline strategies and positive communication skills to build connection, cooperation, and of course, stronger relationships. And today we are starting from the very beginning and we're gonna focus on where it all started for me in my education and learning about child development, and it's with Montessori in the home. So this video is going to be dedicated all about Dr. Maria Montessori and how to create a Montessori inspired home. I've been working with schools and families for the past 25 years, and I did start off as a Montessori teacher for early childhood back in 2000. So I love this age group. I'm going to be focusing on those toddlers to 10-year-olds with all of these ideas of how to create your Montessori home. So first we'll talk a little bit about who she was, Dr. Maria Montessori. And I know a lot of people misinterpret the philosophy. So as a certified Montessori educator and school consultant, let me tell you what a genius she was. So Dr. Maria Montessori, she was one of the first female physicians in Italy and started her career off really observing children. She found herself in what they called back in the day an insane asylum. She was in a institution, and she was in the area where they were keeping the children that had some special needs who were institutionalized. And so Dr. Montessori went and observed at this hospital, I'll call it, and she really was observing the children. And she said, you know what? These children are not, they were like, oh, you can't teach them. They're unteachable. They're unintelligent. She goes, these children are not unintelligent. They're just in the wrong environment. They need a better environment. She saw one child just kind of playing with their crumbs on the table, then falling onto the ground and chasing after those crumbs. And she said, well, that child's not, and the people in charge were punishing that child. And she said, that child's not doing anything wrong. He's just exploring and they need some things to do. And so she studied under these two Viennese physicians, Jean Itard and Edouard Seguin. And they actually were working with children with special needs. And they were creating these beautiful hands-on materials. They still have these materials in Montessori classrooms today. You'll find the Seguin boards, the 10 boards. And Dr. Montessori learned so much from these two physicians, and she created her Montessori materials through that. And in I'm pretty sure it's 1907, the first Casa dei Bambini, Children's House, was formed. And I'll go into all that in another video because I really wanted to get some more tips and tricks on how to create this Montessori home for you. So she was a genius, long story short, created the first Casa dei Bambini. Those children that she first worked with, not only did they pass those state exams, but they exceeded the quote unquote normal children because of the philosophy and the care that Dr. Maria Montessori then trained teachers to do. And one of the things that I love about the Montessori philosophy, and that I try so hard to do, and it's very hard sometimes, is how to become an observer. So in a Montessori classroom, you'll see that the teacher is not necessarily in the center of the attention. It's the children that are working, and the teacher is able to observe the children using all these amazing materials in this prepared environment built for them. the teachers are aware of these sensitive periods that we'll have to talk about in another video, but I'll touch on a few of the sensitive periods now. And they're able to invite the child to either work one-on-one or in a small group to learn. And usually with that observation, and one of the things I'm learning about a lot now about our brain and our attention is, and this is what Montessori knew from the beginning, is children learn best through interest, what they're interested in. So many Montessori teachers have created materials to, maybe interest that 3-year-old that is running around the classroom. Maybe the child loves dinosaurs, so they create a math work with dinosaurs or something, but you really, you work to the child's interest. And you're also just introducing this beautiful philosophy of respect for yourself, respect for others, and respect for the environment. So many of my early Montessori mentors said, you can teach Montessori with sticks and stones outside by a pond. You can teach Montessori really anywhere. And it's more the philosophy around it. So a few things that I did back in the day, and I am sitting in at this table because this table inspired me to do this video today. So this is probably a Montessori inspired table. I'm actually pretty comfortable sitting at it, but obviously it's a table built for a child. So a big thing with Montessori and Montessori in the home is you want to have furniture that fits the child. So this table was actually brilliantly made by a Montessori dad, and it fits really well. So ages 2 to 8, you want their legs probably at a 90-degree angle. Another thing that we did, and I'm just going to flip you around, and let's see if I can flip. Yes. No, I won't. So the other thing that I love is this type of chair, the Stoke Trip Trap chair. So I highly recommend a lot of my parents, my coaching clients, to get something like that. So this too, hi. You sit at it, the child sits at it, and they're at this, not me, sorry, I am moving you all around. They are at this 90-degree, their legs. It is important for their legs. You're probably seeing lots of messes behind you, but doesn't matter. This chair, oh my God, that chair's, we've had that for a while, and I love them all. I have 3 kids, and we had 3 of them at one time. This is the last one. That is in our house still. My husband wants to get rid of it. I don't want to get rid of it because it was like, they said a 9-month-old and a 99-year-old can sit in that chair comfortably, and I do love it. So finding really good furniture, and obviously this is well-made, sturdy. The other idea with Montessori in the home, and if you're interested, send me a DM, send me a message. I have a whole write-up of Montessori from the start, kind of a little checklist of what you do want in your home and how you want to create it. I think I have some old videos somewhere in YouTube that shows some examples from my home. But usually one of the best things, the best advice I always give to my families is where you come in to the house. So your front entryway, your mudroom, does your child have a spot where they can sit and take their shoes off? So maybe a chair like this, or we have a little step stool that, like I said, is still being used, even though my kids are 11, 14, and 17. But a spot where they can put their shoes on, a spot where they can put their shoes. A Montessori tip, a place for everything and everything in its place. Everything has a home. Everything should have a home. Maybe there's something that we're trying to do more of, our little what are they called? Not pods, but centers or systems. Like, so it's our little system is like, this is where all the shoes go. And this is actually where all the socks live. All the socks are downstairs. They're not in my kids' drawers. I just have all the socks downstairs where we need them. And they have hooks. Like, do you have a low hook for your child? So that's something I always love to do with new families, is teach their child from age 2 to hang up their jacket and put their shoes away. They can do that, and they do that in Montessori schools. So really setting up the environment. Looking at your kitchen, I would say the kitchen would maybe be the next step where you can do some Montessori in the home. And it's still all about, like, how do we create the space for the child to be more independent? So independence is an indirect aim for all of the Montessori early childhood, especially programs, but into middle school. Independence, like, how do you set up the environment for them to be more independent? So in the kitchen, could you have a spot in the refrigerator for them? And I'm probably more thinking of now a 4-year-old and older. They can open up the fridge and this is their drawer, and maybe that's where the apples and the cheese sticks and the yogurts or whatever, like the things that you do want them to get. And same thing for in the pantry. Could there be a low shelf for their snacks or their oatmeal or whatever it is that they love to eat that you would allow for them to get, of course, limits within reason. And then with the kitchen, I always love, and I probably can, post, I'll do a different video about it though too, is the actual food prep. And that is the Montessori in the home. And that's where they really can help you, is in the kitchen. So you probably can get some child-sized utensils too, just like the child-sized furniture. You want the child-sized carrot peelers and some good choppers, and they can use a knife probably by age 4 and 5 for sure. And it's all about taking time for training and teaching them how to do these things. And repetition, right? The repetition will happen. And definitely, and I'll give one more tip, and then I'm going to come back to the table and just show you a few more cool Montessori things. But in their bedroom would be the other, and bathroom. Oof, there's too many rooms to think about. But in their bedroom, like, how can you create the Montessori in the home, in their bedroom? And less is more. Less is more. That's another tool to think about. If you want them to be more independent, can you set up their drawers so that they know that this is where their shirts are? And maybe there's only 5 shirts in there, little t-shirts that they can put on. This is where the shorts and pants live. And there's, again, minimal amount, and you can even put pictures out on the drawers. And they're able to do it themselves. Maybe a few things that would help them is if they had a low mirror. Is there a low mirror in their room where they can see? And then, of course, that's where the bathroom comes in. And there's the whole Montessori curriculum for toddler, probably up to age 5 or 6. So much the foundation is this practical life and teaching life skills and characteristics, basically, for this person. You are helping them to become, they need to experiment and experience doing things. That child at that age, especially that 2.5-year-old to 4-year-old, is saying, help me to do it myself. Help me so that I can do it myself. Don't do it for me. It's really hard. It's really hard as a parent. But if you could think back, become that Montessori observer, become the observer of witnessing your child through these developmental milestones. They have to go through these challenges. They have to go through these milestones. You've seen it. You saw your child learn how to walk, and how you can just be there as that scaffold to allow them to do these things and to learn these things, because we know they have to do them to actually learn it. So a few other amazing things about Montessori, and like I said, you could teach Montessori with sticks and stones, but I also love, like, they are in this sensitive period for beautiful, small, beautiful objects. So like I have this beautiful amethyst, and this is something I brought into a Montessori school. I was doing a positive discipline training, and I helped them to make a little like piece basket, or, and you could create this at home actually. You can just have a basket, and actually this is probably something I did recommend that they get. So this Montessori school, I said put some beautiful things in the basket. Maybe the amethyst will go in there. Here's another crystal. I love this. This is like, you can breathe in, breathe out. So you make a little basket, all different things. Here's some beads, whatever. And then this is a basket that your child could use when they're maybe not feeling so well, or if they're just had a temper tantrum. This could be kind of their peace basket or their feel-good basket with all different things that would help them to feel good. I have these cute little animals in here, these little calico critters. And you know, maybe that's their little quiet basket too, that when you're busy, they can be busy doing things like that. So the other thing that everything with Montessori, I just took these toys up because I just thought this was so cool. This is not a Montessori material, but this was a toy that I found at this like amazing fair, and it was just super cool. So anything hands-on, manipulative, those type of toys that you can look for. You know, yeah, of course they say like wooden is best, but there are some, like that's a beautiful plastic toy. This other one that I loved, and you know, you'll think I'm crazy because it is in a crystal bowl, but if you know, you put beautiful, you give these children beautiful things. But no, this crystal bowl was probably not out when my children were 3 and 5, but it is out now that they are older. And I still do some work with kids. So I love, you know, just putting really cool toys in beautiful bowls, baskets. You know, these are just, I like these Unifix cubes. Just an example of some things to do. But let me put that there. Everything is hands-on. Everything is hands-on. One of the things that you'd see in a Montessori classroom, you don't have to get these at home. I just do these because I do some tutoring work with children, and this is just a, you know, famous Montessori material, the sandpaper letters, and I think it's backwards for you, but this is just where we show as Montessori educators, this is the letter So we teach the sounds of the letters. And everything is tactile, everything they're feeling, they're using their senses. I love that material. One of the things that, I even took this out too, the sense of wonder, that is what we try to do in our Montessori schools, is really helping the children to have this sense of wonder to the world. So much of Maria Montessori's curriculum focused on cosmic education and getting out in nature and really feeling that oneness and that connection to the universe and to our world. You know, like we want to be the citizens of the world, and it's amazing. Like she should have gotten a Nobel Peace Prize but didn't. That's a whole nother thing. Yeah, all about peace education. But just like we have this beautiful shell. Again, I don't think I would have this at a low shell for my young children to have, but I would possibly, if they were like really like sad and having a hard time, I'd be like, let me show you some secret. I gotta show you something that's so beautiful. If you can hold it like this, and I would hold it to their ear, and I would like talk really quietly, and I was like, what do you hear? I can hear the ocean. You know, what do you hear? You hear something magical. Imagine what a 3-year-old would say. What do you hear? Oh, I don't know. That would be amazing. the other little thing I have out here, and this, I was a little crazy, but you know, good crazy. So I loved quality, quality, I'm gonna say art medium. So quality art supplies, and this is like amazing quality. I did buy this at a Montessori conference, mind you, but this is just like an example of, oh my God, these are so amazing. It's just like so fun. Like I would want to, like as a Montessori teacher, use these, but as a parent, sometimes it's fun to like experiment with your kids. But these are Kit Paws. These are just the most beautiful wax art crayons, and the way that they draw on paper, it's just beautiful. It's magical. So knowing that, and that's something that the Montessori teachers do, like they prepare the environment. So when you can buy like really good quality art supplies, there's like so much crap out there, but when you can buy quality, and that's where, that Montessori piece comes in. It's like, it is more minimalistic, the quality, not the quantity, the process, not the product. It's in the doing. And that was a lot of information, inspired by this beautiful Montessori table. That was, we've had this forever, and I just love it. If you are interested in learning more, if you, I love Montessori. This is a great book. Definitely a little dry, so if you want the cliff notes, let me know. I'd be happy to send you my notes. I've been studying this book now for close to 18 years. Yes, studying it. And I love helping parents to kind of create this space in their homes. So I'm gonna finish up because I want to keep these videos shorter as I am learning to create more and more videos on YouTube. Let me know if I can support you in any way. I love to coach parents. I love to facilitate workshops at schools, and a wide variety of workshops that we do, but mostly focused on positive discipline and how to create like more of this, it's communication. It's a lot of communication skills, but really creating strong relationships through those, through our communication. All right, bye for now, and have a great day.